next most important thing is, well, how do we actually do the editing of these outputs? Because just as we saw on the inputs over here, where we've got a channel strip that runs up through the Vistonics screen, giving me, for example, EQ down here, or if I wanted dynamics, I've now got a dynamics controller for this selected channel. I can do the same for my output. So all I have to do, let's choose auxiliary number 2 over here, and if I wanted to just do a little bit of EQ on there, I can select it by pressing the solo select button, and you will see immediately that this area here becomes basically the same as this Vistonics display over here, but it's just lying on its side. So if I select this red block over here, it's our familiar 4-band parametric EQ, which is exactly the same as what's available for the input channels over here, but it's now available for each of those 32 buses. Each of those buses also has a 30-band graphic EQ, which is available over here, but we're going to look at that in a bit more detail later on, so I'm not going to go into that right now. The main things that we're going to work with here are the EQ for that output. Over here, if I select the green area, I've got a compressor. So again, the same compressor that I've got for the inputs is available for the outputs, but it's also got a limiter as well. So every single bus has a compressor and a limiter. And again, it's laid out in a very, very analog way with threshold, attack, release, ratio, and gain makeup over here. And there's even an auto button. For those of you that don't want to spend too much time dialing it in, it'll just do auto sensing for the compressor. And the limiter, and each one can be selected on its own. And then the last part of it that we're going to use is this area here, which again has a pan control and routing to the left-right master buses. So, for example, with subgroups, we're going to obviously want to route those to the main mix, and we can do that over here by just selecting the left-right on button, and that subgroup is now routed to the main mix. So that's the basics of how you configure buses, and hopefully that sort of demystified this term buses and what they are. Really, all they are is just what you have on an analog console, but you're allowed to choose how you want to configure them. So we're going to go back to Bank A, and now let's just have a look over here on this part of the screen. You can see here now the metering. So this says mix 1 to 8, which we've configured to be our auxes, and that glows orange over here, so that we know that those are aux outputs. And over here you can see mix 9 to 16, which is our stereo subgroups. And they appear as 4 blocks of green, so you can see that they are stereo. And over here in blue are our matrix outputs. And obviously, as soon as you run level through the console, you'll see the meter showing you your output level plus any gain reduction in this lower section over here.